So we all know there are a multitude of brands available for all weather floor mats in a vehicle. They can come in different materials and types, but they're all essentially designed to do the same thing. So my question to you is, does the brand really matter? Obviously, one of the most popular brands of floor mats available is WeatherTech. You see that everywhere. It's advertised. A lot of people use it. That is one of what I would call a name brand floor mat. But is a name brand really required to get a good protected floor mat for your vehicle? My wife's Trailblazer has a set of floor mats from a brand called SmartLiner. They're available on Amazon. They do a perfect job of protecting the floors in her vehicle. They are not the flexible rubber kind of all-weather floor mat. They are more of a molded plastic, but they do the job and they're a great price. I got the driver, passenger, second row, and cargo mat for a great price and a significant discount when compared to companies like Husky Liner, WeatherTech, and others of that nature. But it's not the Trailblazer that we're going to be talking about today. Today we have a new brand of floor mat that we're going to be looking at for the Silverado. For those of you that have been with my channel for a while, you know that a while back I installed Lost-Fit floor liners in the truck. I started with the Chevy Z71 floor mats, and I was never really happy with the two-piece second row design. And so Lost-Fit has a single piece design. I've been going with them for a while and I love it. I have not missed the two-piece design at all. Super glad that there are companies out there that make a single piece rear floor mat for the Silverado. But today we're going to be looking at a different brand. This brand, I'm not fully sure on the pronunciation of it. I'm going to call it Huidasource. It's Huidasource. It's a brand that is primarily seen on Amazon and is at least somewhat associated with Coverado Auto. So we're going to take a look at a set of floor mats that they have for the Silverado that have a additional, what I'm going to call a feature compared to the Lost-Fits, and it's actually a feature that I wish the Lost-Fits had. So I'm going to see if these Huidasource floor mats end up working a little bit better for me than Lost-Fit. But at the end of this video, no matter what I decide to do or which ones I decide to leave in the truck, one set of floor mats is going to go up for sale. So if you have a Silverado and you're looking for a good set of all-weather floor mats for your vehicle, there will be a link in the description down below to the Facebook Marketplace listing for whichever set of floor mats I decide to let go of once this video is over. The first thing we're going to do is take out the Lost-Fit floor mats. We're going to get everything out of the truck, and then we're going to lay everything out here outside with the Huidasource floor mats and take a look and compare the moldings to see if they are the same or if there are differences in the overall shapes. And we're going to take a look at that feature that I mentioned a little bit earlier. So now we have the Lost-Fit and Huidasource mats out here on the driveway. You can see by looking at them that they are very similar in shape, but they're not exact. One big difference is going to be the passenger side floor mat. You can see the Lost-Fit floor mat actually goes up higher into the footwell under the dash than the Huidasource floor mat does. And if we take a closer look at them, you can see that the Lost-Fit floor mats have these much straighter edges and they're a little deeper, whereas the Huidasource floor mats are a little more slanted coming up with a kind of a little tiny lip there along the edging. And the same thing applies to the passenger floor mat and especially to the second row. So you'll see here on the Lost-Fit floor mat where the mat butts up against the underseat storage section, it has this very vertical and straight edge behind it. The Huidasource floor mat, I'm assuming these are more of a universal fit for Silverados because I'm going to have to cut this out right here because I'm assuming these would also be made for trucks that don't have the cargo under the seat. And this right here is what would butt up against my cargo area. So you can see how much lower that lip is for the Weedasource floor mats. And the same thing applies to the front section. They have a lip here, but it's not as prominent as the lip on the Losfit ones. So for that portion of the design, I would say that Losfit probably has a little bit of an advantage. Their edging is just a little more prominent, which would probably help with keeping spills on the mats and not getting into other places of your vehicle. But the main reason I wanted to give these Weedasource floor mats a try is not what's on top, but actually what's underneath. So just like pretty much any rubber floor mat, you're gonna have these sturdy lines running along the bottom, and this is the Losfit one here. But you'll notice that besides these lines for stability, everything's really perfectly smooth underneath. But if we go to the Weedasource mat, you'll see that it has these little tiny spikes under here. These are designed to grab the carpet and the flooring in the vehicle to help keep the mats from sliding around. On this driver's side one, it's not a big deal because it locks in place. But the passenger floor mat on the Losfit, it slides up and down a lot on the passenger side because there's nothing for it to lock onto over there on that side of the truck. Those are the primary differences in the design of these two floor mats. So now we're going to install the Weedasource mats, get them in the truck, and we're going to drive around with them for a few days and then see what my thoughts are after having them in the truck for a little while, and if I plan on leaving these in the truck or if I'm going to go back to the Losfit floor mats. All right, so we've got the Weedasource mats installed. There are 3 points that I'm going to go over with these floor mats right now. The first being that the overall fit's not bad, but there are little places where it's like they just didn't quite take as much time to make sure the fit was perfect. You can see right here, this bottom section is a little long. It actually runs into this trim piece by the seat, and so that doesn't sit flat down all the way. Other than that, this one does fit around everywhere else. It actually fits right up under the center console trim. So you can see it runs right up against that. So that actually looks pretty good. But this corner piece right here, to me, that's pretty obvious. So that's the first point about these Weedasource floor mats. I like the tread pattern overall. I think that looks pretty good, but let's keep looking and see what else we can find. All right, in the rear, everything does fit pretty good overall. I did, of course, have to trim that piece out because I have the cargo area, and it fits around that really well. But I will say I do kind of miss having the high back ridge on this rear section, especially since this lip, once you cut that out, is so short. If it was about like this one in the front, or it was a little taller, I don't think it would bother me as much, but I'm kind of missing that high back ridge. So just another thing to consider when looking at what type of floor mats you're going to put in your truck. All right, the last point is going to be for this passenger side mat over here. As mentioned, these are made with the non-slip little spikes on the bottom. I'm going to call them spikes. I don't really know what they are. I don't know what to call them other than that, but they do seem to work pretty well. I have to put a lot of effort into sliding this around, whereas the other one, all I had to do was kind of put my fingers here and it would slide right up. But if I do like pushing on it right now, you can see it's really taking effort to get it to move. So that's nice. I do like that it's harder to get it to slide around, and this one is one that's fitting probably the best overall. You can see this section on the center console comes up higher, so that doesn't run up against it, but that's okay. And it comes up pretty good in the footwell. Doesn't go up quite as high as the Losfit, but I don't think you're really gonna have to worry about too much. So as I said before, the big factor of me trying these out was the non-slip bottom for these. So I'm gonna ride around for a few days with these, just kind of get a feel for them and see what I think. And then I'll make a determination right here on this video if I'm gonna stick with the new Weedasource that I just put in, or if LostFit's going to be my continuing floor mat for the foreseeable future. But remember, no matter which one I choose, one of them will be for sale with a link down in the description below if you're looking for a set of all-weather floor mats for your truck.
Day 3.
So I've had the Weedasource mats in the truck for a few days now, had a chance to kind of get a feel for the quality of the material and that non-slip design. And if I were to answer the question that I posed at the beginning of this video right now, I would say that no, brand name doesn't really matter. At this point, there are so many different options for floor mats for your vehicle. It's going to be very difficult to find just a bad, low quality product that you're not going to be able to use, or something that you put in your truck and it just doesn't feel like it's doing the job. All-weather floor mats are so common now that the molds are very common and materials are very common. So I would say if you don't want to spend the money for WeatherTech, look on Amazon, find what options are available for your vehicle. Something will be out there in a price point that you're happy with. The Weedasource floor mats feel like their quality is very good. The material is good. I compared how the materials feel to the LostFit floor mats, and the rubber, the thickness, it all feels very similar. Obviously, different floor mats are going to have different designs and different overall features. So just take a look at what's out there, find something that you think you will like for your vehicle. Just like in my wife's Trailblazer, we use those SmartLiner plastic floor mats and she's perfectly happy with them. She loves them. There was no reason for us to spend another $150 on WeatherTech floor mats for her car. SmartLiners do the job just fine. For me personally, I am going to be going back to the LostFit floor mats in my truck, but it's not because I feel like these are necessarily a better quality product. It's because I miss having this high backed ridge on the second row mat that butts up against that cargo area under the rear seats. I like this design right here, and I feel like I prefer having this than that non-slip design of the Weedasource floor mats. So with that being said, these Weedasource floor mats will be listed on Facebook Marketplace at a really good price because they are technically slightly used. They've been in the truck for a few days. I'm obviously not going to charge regular price for those floor mats. So if you want a quality rubber floor mat at a good price, check out the Marketplace listing in the description down below. But if you like this video, if it gave you some information on searching for floor mats for your vehicle, give it a nice little thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. For now, thanks for watching. This is Southpaw Garage signing out.